Hello, I'm Ben from the Any Button podcast. Time for our new segment, tentatively called Overwatch Watch. We may work on that a little bit. Here I'm just going to talk about anything and everything Overwatch, just be a total nerd, just keep in mind I'm not a pro, stuck in ELO held in gold as a gold player. Not that it makes any sense since I constantly play with plat and diamond players. Thanks, Blizzard. Spoiler, I'm recording this on Sunday, just after the podcast, so when this releases, which I think is going to be a Wednesday, anything that's happened in that time is just not going to be in this. I'll probably talk about it next week then, or the week after, depending if this ends up being weekly or fortnightly. So last week, Doomfist got released, and in that week, he's already gone through so many fixes and nerfs. The fixes are mostly to his movement abilities. Seismic Slam wasn't working as intending, allowing him to get to higher places. That's been fixed, so he can only jump to places below him. It also has UI changes, allowing you to see how much damage you do when you jump. His Rocket Punch got nerfed and now does a shorter distance. Before it's been nerfed by about 20%. So fully charged, it's just not going to go as far. You're not also going to be able to do the extended rocket jump where you jump at the end of your rocket punch, allowing you the momentum just to carry you like half across the map. This also they've also fixed the movement ability in which you could just rocket punch certain bits of geometry and just be sent sky high into the air. Similar to how Genji's ledge jump used to work and how Widow's hookshot works now. Also, just a couple of days ago, his entire cosmetic wardrobe was released. His sprays have some fantastic references from the Doomfist version of the Punch Kid to the fighting game move list. And just my personal favorite is a reference to Sonny Liston's The Greatest Photograph of Muhammad Ali. All these other stuff I'm not really a fan of, especially his skin. If I had to pick one particular skin I'm a fan of, it would be the Iron skin, which is known to me as the Colossus skin. There are a bunch of other PTR changes live right now on the PTR, not in live version of the game. So McCree's flashbang now slows targets after they've been stunned. So before, if you stunned a Lucio, if he's got any kind of momentum, he will just be carried. Now he should be slowed and allow you to get those headshots to finish him off. Reaper has now had nerfs to how much his visuals and sound effects are when he does his teleport ability, which means that when you teleport, you shouldn't just announce it to the entire map. It should make him a ton more sneaky, even though it doesn't need to be. He's already so powerful as he is with his leech drain. Reinhardt's hammer has got a nice little buff of a 10%, which means he does 10% more damage. He just swings 10% faster. He also no longer takes damage from charging another charging player like another Reinhardt or a Doomfist, specifically because of Doomfist. As far as I'm aware, none of these actually fix the current problems Reinhardt has. He's got a lot of problems with where his swings don't connect or they don't deal consistent damage. Also, there's problems with his Earth Shatter after it got a height nerf. The other huge buff is to Zarya's ultimate, the Gravitonic Surge. It now disables all movement abilities, so you're just not going to see Tracer's blink out, you're not going to see Reinhardt's charge out, you're probably not going to see a Doomfist charge out of her ult now. I don't play on the PTR because my PC is a potato, so I haven't been able to test whether this affects Orisi's Fortify ability, because that's not, strictly speaking, a movement ability. That is I can't remember what I called that, but it's not a movement ability, so whether it still is affected is up in the air. And last but not least, there is also an alleged work going into Roadhog ever since his damage nerf, but his fire rate increase. He's just become the least played hero And that's underneath Sombra, which is saying something. Apparently they're looking into giving him armor, to just making that slightly more tanky, and not just be an ult battery, which he isn't it right now. Giving him, meaning he can survive, he can stay in the fight a lot longer, he can deal out more damage and hopefully get those kills. Which I don't know if I completely agree with, because while I agree that the one hook kill isn't fun, especially for those on the receiving end, I do believe that the previous one hook combo was separate to that, where you would actually have to land a hook, a shot, and then a melee to secure the kill. Whereas I think it's the combo aspect which makes it more viable in my mind, that should have allowed it to stay in the game, since it requires a little bit more diligence and practice. It's not insanely hard to pick up, but if you're not experienced or if you don't know about it, then you can hook, do a shot, and still miss a ton of kills. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode. If I didn't talk about a specific piece of Overwatch news, whether it be lore, memes, PTR changes, leave it in the comments below, and I'll look it up, I will read about it, I will probably talk about it. And hit the subscribe button down below to stay updated for when this posts next.